Hey everybody. I'm going to move around and annoy the cameraman, so sorry about that. Yeah, my name is Lee. I am a software engineer and photographer, and I've been in Villars since 11 years now. And I'm here to speak to you about Glue, which is a photo project about the Perl programming language. And it's a series of photos shot at workshops and conferences. So this is here in Switzerland, actually in Olten, not in Villars. It's the first photo I took for this project, and I've always kind of liked everything that's going on in this photo. This was at the then Perl 6 hackathon. The current version is Perl 5, and they were working on Perl 6. So I'm working on a photo project, and what we do in a photo project is we take lots of photos, and then we eventually pick some photos. So this is a list of photos, and we are picking out 50. And what we want to do is we want to pick photos that we're kind of interested in and that might work together quite well. So this is another photo in Olten, and the guy here on the right is Tobias Eitke. He is one of the creators of one of my favorite pieces of software ever written called the RRD tool. And what I only realized recently about this photo is it actually looks like one of the things his software generates. So when we have all of these photos, what we want to do is we want to create a sequence. So we want a starting point, a journey, and an end point. We don't just want a bunch of photos that are kind of unrelated. We want to create a story and build up some interest and try and make a point at the end of that sequence. This is a photo of my colleague, Nicholas. This was in Granada in 2015, I think it was. And you'll notice that all of the photos here are panoramic. And I'm using a special camera to shoot these photos because it allows me to create lots of context. What we also do with photos in a photo project is we pair them together. So we might have a photo that's not our favorite or is maybe not that strong, but if we pair it with another image, it might make it a bit stronger. So we want to look for images that contrast or complement each other for whatever reason. So I shot this photo in Orlando, Florida in 2016. I quite like it, but it's not that strong. It's not that interesting because I've got lots of photos of single people working on their laptops because I'm shooting at programming conferences. So I was like, maybe I can pair it with an image to make it more interesting. So I picked this one, and can anybody think why I might have paired it with this image? Yeah, there's lots of geometry happening, and there's a contrast of lots of people and one person, but it's okay. But I thought, what else can we pair images with? And what we do now in photo projects is we pair images with text. But we want to be more than just, here's a bunch of programmers. So I thought, what can I pair photos of coders and programming language photos with? What can I pair? Code. So I thought, well, maybe snippets of code might work. So I picked this particular one. It's some code I wrote a long time ago. And the reason I think it works quite well with this image is because I've renamed the variables to make it clearer. We have this chaos at the bottom and order at the top. I wrote this one a while back. I know we have at least 4 other coders in the room. Can anybody think what this particular piece of code might be doing? I've formatted it in a way that maybe makes it clearer. Yes, hopscotch. Nah, you gave it away. Do you think have an image that... look at that, we have hopscotch. So this was at the Perl, Les Journées Perl, the Perl workshop in 2018. And if you don't know programming and you don't know Perl, but you can see this hopscotch, you can maybe infer this is code about hopscotch. And we also have 5, 6, 7 here, which is quite relevant to Perl at the moment. So I guess what I'm trying to answer is, can code be art? This was a talk by Stephen Little in Granada in 2016, I think it was. He's got a background in art history, but he's a coder as well. I think everybody's a bit dubious here because they're all kind of tilting their heads and saying, I'm not sure if code can be art. But so what I've done is I've uploaded this bit of code to the internet where people can contribute their own code snippets. It's called Acme Glue. And as you can see, it's mostly me that's done it so far, but people have contributed as well. And what I plan to do is pair these snippets of code with photos. So, for example, this was at the Perl conference in Washington DC in 2017, and there was a DeLorean that had its dashboard powered by Perl. And I gave this talk last year, and the guy that owned that DeLorean sent me some code. So now I can pair that code with that image. Here's an example of the packing problem. This is a common problem in mathematics and computer science. And maybe if we could write code to figure out how to solve the packing problem for camels, that might pair with that image. The camel is a symbol for Perl, by the way. I've got one on my T-shirt here as well. You'd still have a packing problem even if you went on EasyJet, so it doesn't really matter. But then we have pack and unpack. So there's a bit of a sequence there. So the reason these were added to the language is Larry Wall, the creator of Perl, was working at the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory when they had the Magellan probe, and there was a problem with the data coming back. So he added those to the language to allow them to fix the data coming back. That is Larry Wall there, the creator of Perl. This was in Cluj, Romania, in 2016, I think it was. He's quite a nice chap, very unassuming, easy to talk to. So that's Acme Glue. If you search Acme : glue on the web, you'll find the module. And if you are a coder or you're just interested, you can send me some code and maybe it will end up in the final project. And that would be really useful for me. Thank you.